advantage, but so it's advantage from you being on the ground, but cancelled out because you're prone. So it's just normal. One normal attack roll. What's your AC normally?
Wait, what's the advantage from?
You're unconscious.
Oh, okay. AC is still 15, unless you're taking 2 away for me not being able to wiggle.
No, that's fine. So an arrow shot from H slams into the ground near Shriek, and Scarface is looking about for wherever this holy fire is coming from. Shriek, one more death saving throw, please. You're 2 for 2. C.
Sorry, didn't mean to click that.
Good.
We can keep it if you
we'll
want.
not count that. We'll let that one slide.
Sorry.
It's okay. C flees the battlefield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he's just like, I'm a cowardly custard. he runs off going, they've got the pixies on their side! This was a mistake! I want my mama! And you hear B go, shut up! When Olaf wakes up, he's gonna break your throat, you coward! G. Where's G? G's up there. G readies an action. Following orders. B goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And B points his bow at Jack pointedly. And then fires. So this guy walks up to you, Jack, and just draws his bow and then shoots you. And it slams into the ground at your feet, and you're not sure if it was a warning shot or if he's just bad. And he draws the bow again and goes, "You're gonna give us more trouble? Well, are you?" What do you say, Jack?
I'm not moving. I'm not resisting. Does it really look like I'm giving you trouble?
And he goes, "The ale to drop it all." Do you drop the ale?
I'm gonna chug whatever I have left in my hand.
make a cheeky D20 roll to drain your ale before they steal it.
Just a D20?
Yeah, just D20. So I think you're is this a tankard or a keg? What are we talking?
It's a water skin full of ale.
Okay, so you hold the water skin up to your throat, and it begins dribbling down your throat, and all of it rushes in, and it's oh, wonderful! You managed to drain the skin.
Just throw it down. There's your ale.
You see B just give you a look of disgust, and but he doesn't seem to press the issue. E readies an action. G steps up with B and readies an action. Theron, what you do?
Okay, listen. I'm talking to F. You may be able to take, I've got a small amount of gold. I'll be honest, I'm a poor entertainer. Not much to me. But I know how you can find up to 100 gold if you just relax, no one does anything else, and we all just sit down, and I'll tell you how to find your 100 gold.
And make a persuasion test.
Okay. Yes!
Sorry. The Scarface's eyes go wide and goes, 100? Oh, you must have overtaken her. Blah, 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 blah. And he starts just babbling words. But he seems very impressed with this. And on his turn, when he has regained the use of his vocal cords, he goes, 100 golden imperials. Tell me more.
First, you're going to have to get everyone to just relax. I want to heal our barbarian. And then we'll see. I'll tell you about the 100 gold.
He goes, okay. Everyone doesn't relax. They kind of look more relaxed, but you can tell that they're all still readying attacks. but they seem like a bit more relaxed. Like, yeah, you can go heal Shriek. That's fine. Go ahead. We're not gonna kill you if you try that. Olaf's still unconscious. Jack, what do you do?
I'm gonna fish out my last 2 gold pieces and say, is this really what you want?
The fine gentleman, number B, goes, yes, and B is a number, not a letter.
It took me a second. I was like, wait, what? Toss him at his feet. You can have him. I'll make more than that in a day anyways.
Make a push your luck check. Roll a d20.
Oh!
Yeah.
I'm glad you can see what's happening before I can.
It's interesting. I like that. Okay. I continues to ready in action. Rosemary, you're up. What you do?
Please don't do anything.
I am going to make a double action to get up next to Shrike.
Okay. Whoop. There you go.
Yep. Okay.
So Shriek, what you do? Do you want to roll a death saving throw?
I don't think I have much choice since I don't know somebody's coming up to me. So let's see if I can roll a 1.
Ooh. You're still alive and you are stable. That's 3 for 1. So unless you're attacked, you're safe. C. C is the coward. C like gets a hold of himself and like turns round a bit, but he's like still backing up. He's on the peripheries. He doesn't look like he's got much fight in him. G continues readying. B walks over to Jack. Jack, you are approached. And
Aye.
he
Know
does
what
the
you want.
following action. He punches you in the face. And you take a whopping 1 point of damage. Could you please make a con save?
Yes. I can do everything on this page. Constitution, save.
Okay, so like he punches you in the face, and your nose like twists to the side, and a couple of your teeth like scatter on the ground. Nah. He punches you in the face, and your nose like twists, and blood pours down, and you like stagger a bit, but you're otherwise okay. You don't lose any teeth, but you've got an interesting nose shape. E. What do you do in response, Jack, to being punched in the face?
Look at him and smile.
Okay, make a push your luck check. Roll another d20.
I mean, I can't roll worse than a 5.
He seems satisfied and begins roughly patting you down. Theron, what do you do on your turn?
So I'm gonna approach Sheik and cast Cure Wounds on.
Have you got a cast left?
Yes, I've only used 1.
And that was on yourself, wasn't it? It's Jack that's cast 2. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Jack cast 1 on himself on 1 of you.
Okay, so
Too many bards with spells to fling around.
I wasn't expecting 2 bards. I was expecting a meat shield.
Wasn't expecting 2 bards, man. So, Shriek, you feel this surge of energy flow through you, and you immediately, your eyes pop awake, and you just feel pain all over where you've been shot a couple times, and things aren't the best for you. What do you do immediately? What's your like immediate reaction? Not like your turn, but your like immediate upon waking up.
I imagine she just lays there panting. She's probably, I don't know, she might have been having some really weird unconscious dreams. So, yeah, she's like, where am I? What happened?
Do you respond, Theron?
I just, I like help her up and just say, let's just relax. Let's just all make this out alive, and let's all just go kill a monster together, and find fame and glory and gold. I say that looking at F.
Okay. Okay, so just a quick question. Are any of you going to make any more attack actions?
No. Solidly no.
Shriek?
I feel like she's had a fairly harsh lesson knocked into her, literally, so she's just gonna follow the lead of the other group members for now.
Okay. So that's a no. Okay. So we'll deal with first the Jack situation. Jack, you're punched in the face and you smirk at this guy and he begins like roughly patting you down. Like, is there anything you tried to hide on yourself? Have you got any like swords or gear that he
Like
requested
my
from
sword's on the ground. I'm still wearing my dagger. I'm not even thinking about it. It's just something I'd like use to cut up meat with.
you? Yeah.
So it's,
So he even takes your dagger. He like strips the belt off you and he begins pouring at your clothing. How richly attired are you?
I have basic bard stuff. Like I've got an entertainer's pack, which I got some candles, a couple rations,
But like not fine clothes, common clothes.
some costumes.
Okay, so he like tugs at your clothes a bit and it like tears slightly, and he gives you like a roughing up, like shakes you up, but he doesn't like land you another solid blow. Seren, as you like cast this healing spell upon Shriek, Scarface and a couple of the men that are watching you kind of go a bit wide-eyed. Like this is the first time they've seen this clerical healing that you performed, and they've been had firebolts thrown at them from a holy force, and you've been doing this behind the rock, but now they see it and it's a bit more subdued. And Scarface goes, "Ah, you've been touched by the god," and he draws a knife and begins walking up to you, Seren. What do you do?
I just say, listen, if we're going after this gold, we're going to all need to be in tip-top shape. And everyone's going to need their weapons because we have to slay a monster.
So, as you're saying that, he goes, "Ah, shut up, this won't hurt a bit." And you can see he's reaching towards your head with one hand, with the knife in the other. What do you do?
I'm going to slowly back away from the man with the knife, and I tell F, listen, you're never going to figure this out if I'm not here.
Okay. He goes, "Well, I'm not going to kill you. Just stop moving." And you see a couple of the other guys coming up from behind, so E and J.
Shrike
go,
says,
"Boop, boop,
I
boop."
think he wants a lock of your hair or something, Theron.
Okay,
And-
fine.
And as Shriek says this, Scarface goes, "Aye, she knows you've been touched by the gods. Good luck, charm." And he like grabs your head roughly and like cuts off a hunk of hair, so you've got like an uneven haircut. Just
I like
rips it off.
vainly like kind of brush it and see if I can like hide the cut.
It's like you have to comb over it. There's
Yeah,
a bit of blood that
comb
comes down
over
your
it.
head.
No, it suits you. So,
Never trust fashion sense from a barbarian.
Okay, so you say there's
That's
a
so
monster
mean.
to kill and you'll need all your equipment. So he goes, "Monster? Wait, you saying this 100 gold is guarded by a monster?" Make a persuasion test. There he goes. "Well, I can see why you were gonna go get it, but it seems we have no need for it, since we've got what you have." And he smirks and goes, "You just count yourselves lucky to be alive, messing around on Carlo's turf. You should have been ready to pay your dues."
We were never given a chance to pay dues. You shot me first.
Well, that was kind of a warning shot.
to
Yeah.
his chest.
Well, you struggle less when you're shot. And he goes, "Besides, you didn't have your hands outstretched with gold in your hands?
We
Big
didn't
business
know.
is done."
Oh, who's Carlo?
"Carlo?" And he points at the fort, which is currently now northeast of your position. And he goes, "You see that there? That is the hold of Carlo, the fierce, the mighty. This," and he gestures, like at the land in general, "is his mighty fiefdom, and all who travel across his lands shall pay the toll, in blood and iron and gold. And in your case, a lot of blood." And he looks over at Olaf, who's like still like bleeding on the ground, and goes, "You fix him!" And he like points at you, Theron, and points towards Olaf. Hey,
I can't. I've used all of my arcane or my energy to heal the damage you guys did to us and me. It's your fault. I can't heal him.
Make a persuasion test.
Please don't fail.
Okay, and roll a d20 for pushing your luck. He believes you, and with a grimace, decides not to punch you. So, Jack, Theron, and Rosemary, you've all dropped your gear, right? So, Shriek, you're the only one with stuff left.
Mm.
So, they kind of like point their bows at you, and they're like, "Drop your shit!" And your hand axe is like on the floor where you fell. Do you really have much else on you? Like, I'm assuming some sort of backpack with supplies.
Yeah, I've got backpack. My weapon list includes a battle axe, a quarterstaff, 2 hand axes, and 4 javelins.
Okay, so they shake you down. Do you resist, or are you allowing yourself to be robbed of this final dignity?
She won't retaliate, but she's not happy about it.
So like, do they have to come and tug the stuff off you to get it, or are you like just throwing it down in disgust?
No, she won't make them take it off her. That she'll start, yeah, like dropping it. Damn it.
So after a while, they've gathered up all your stuff, and they kind of like pull it away. There's some patting down and shaking down, and Jack, not Jack, Theron, like, you've intrigued them with this talk of gold, but the moment they hear there's a monster involved and that you were off to kill the monster, they couldn't give 2 gnats pisses what the gold is. If you mention it's a reward in Haven, they're like triple no gnats pisses. But after stripping you of your stuff, they like push you away from them and make it clear that you're free to go. They give you maybe a couple kicks or spits. Maybe one of them jeer at you and fire an arrow after you, but you're allowed to leave with your lives. You have any further like questions or interactions with them before you're like set loose?
Did we manage to hang on to anything, be it gold or like anything?
Was there anything that you intentionally tried to hide? Like, because they take literally everything, unless you're like putting something in your pants. They leave you with your clothes, but they'll take armor, weapons, gold, food. Like, they probably take your viola, and it was not Jack. It's Theron. Theron. There's probably a moment where like one of them tugs your viola away and pulls it out and like coarsely like flicks it with his thumb, and it makes and you're just like disgusted by this affair.
I'm gonna try to keep my lover's letter.
They try and take it from you, and what do you do? They're like roughly pulling it away from your hand.
I would say, look, this has 0 value whatsoever. I show them it's just a piece of paper.
Give me a persuasion test.
Come on, dice, don't fail me now. Nope.
He like
Solid
pulls
nope.
the piece of paper away from you, pulls it open, and like looks at it, goes, "Ah, could be something important. Carlo will have to see it. You understand, of course." And he like
He's
roughly
going
shoves
to
it
be
in his
very
pocket.
upset with you wasting his time on my love letter.
Better to waste time and be thorough.
Probably can't even read.
Of course I can read. That's why I know it's important. And you're lying. And he crosses his arms like a petulant child. And like
What
pouts
does it
at you.
say?
It's just a love letter from.
no.
If you
Oh,
what
it's
does
just
it
a love
say?
letter, but there might be a code hidden in it.
And you think he's smart enough to work out a code in a love letter?
Smarter than you,
All right,
dipshit.
and by he, do you mean Theron or the bandit?
I'm talking about the bandits.
Oh,
You're a fine gentleman working for the fiefdom of Carlos the Fierce. Thank you very much. Bandits, I don't know where you got this terminology from. So, is there anything else that any of you try and keep?
I have an amulet stuffed in my shirt.
Okay. Are you hiding it from them? Do you not toss it on the ground?
It is hidden. It is stuffed in my undergarments.
Mm. So, like, as they approach you and like begin pouring at you, do you like try and shake them off, or are you just like trying to avoid them touching that area? Or what's the angle?
I am fairly certain that they won't. I've watched them search everyone else, and I'm fairly certain they won't dig under the clothing. Under my
Well,
clothing,
judging from
so-
their inspection of Jack, they were literally like tugging the clothing away from him, like
Yes, well, he was
ripping
also
it
being
slightly.
a smartass.
Yeah. So you just trying to appeal to their sense of good nature that they won't search you then.
Yes.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh dear lord.
When she's done, I want to say something to B.
Of course you do. You get us killed, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, you're in the clear. Like they pour at you a bit, and you get like a lewd wink from one of them as he like pours you somewhere he really shouldn't be. But they don't like rip open your bodice and peer down your top and find the amulet. They miss it. Any other personal effects that are being protected, or is there some reaction from Shriek as she's brutally afflicted?
If they like seem like they're and like being, if they feel like she feels like they're being over thorough, she'll grab their fingers and be like, "If you want to keep these, you'll do this nicely." But other than that,
Make an
no.
intimidation.
Okay. She's holding on to them during the intimidation. She'll twist as needed.
Okay.
Oh,
so
sorry. That's
That's good enough. It's a 20.
Okay, thanks.
So one of them like paws at you, and you like take offense. You grab his hand. You hear the sound of bone crunching, and he like glares at you like he's going to make something of it. And then his mates just laugh at him. You like go, "Stop touching the child, you pervert!" And he like entirely scolded moves away. Your amulet is safe, and so is your childlike body. It's weird because halflings are kind of like rotund, aren't they? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have anything she was really trying to protect. Like, there's no items.
Okay.
She has trinkets on, like, that are attached to her clothing, but they
they're
don't
not
have
like
any
taking the
value.
bones out of your hair. Or anything.
Okay.
So that's everyone. Yep.
Oh, I'm going to say something to B before anything. So when you'll pat me down, do you find anything you like?
To Baldy. B has no hair. He is completely bald, including his eyebrows.
You like what you felt underneath me clothes?
Make a persuasion test.
Oh my god.
Persuasion. Oh, it's the performance.
He goes, "I felt better things from my mother."
So you felt out your brother?
And he makes like he's going to punch you. Make a push your luck check. Roll a d.
I've made so many of these.
Oh my
And he
god.
looks like he's going to punch you. And he goes, "You're not worth it. Get out of here." And you're all like ushered away. So, like the robbery is over. You're all injured and wounded, and most of you have nothing left other than the clothes on your back. What's your next? What's the next thing? Like, are you continuing the way you're going, or are you turning your tails and going back to Haven? What's the pattern here?
We might need to get some stuff for the road.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have no gold, so I think we should go back and make the bards perform and...
Excuse me, you can do some work too.
Just
Oh, don't worry, I
point out
will,
of
but
character,
my work happens behind closed doors.
going back to town is the end of the session. Just to make that clear, abundantly so.
So, I know that some of you have, can sing and try and make your money and whatever, but Shrike doesn't have any kind of tools. Like, short of picking up a rock and trying to hit a bird with it, she has no resources. So and like that was a lot of weapons. That was basically like everything she's tried to build up over like the previous 30-odd years of her life. So she's pissed. You guys don't have to come with her, but at this point she's like, I will get my weapons back, I will exact revenge on these fuckers, or I will die trying, and you do not have to come with me. But she just feels like she's been backed into a corner by this thing.
Getting this stuff back to actually does sound like a good idea.
We
So
can get it back after we get some more gear.
Hey,
Right.
you know what? I've
Science
still got
point is
cantrips.
that she doesn't have any way of getting more gear right now.
We can kill something along the way and make more gear.
With what?
Something.
With
Yes.
what, Jack?
She has
Are you going to
nothing.
tackle it and bite its throat open? Like,
If I must.
Varen is gonna go back to town and lie about what happened.
I need to go somewhere to get myself some more ale.
With what money?
I can make money. Can you?
Oh, of course I can. Like I said, my money making happens behind closed doors.
So does mine. Behind closed tavern doors.
I am
Okay.
willing to go with Shrike.
Okay, so with the going back to get your gear, what would the plan be? Go back to town? Because like, if you're going back to town to try and drum up some money, it's not going to be very successful. Like going back to town and spending an extended period there, that would be the session's over. Next session, see what you get. Maybe work out some deal. I don't know, but beyond going and like bemoaning your robbery to perhaps the Lord or the shopkeeper or maybe the Templar himself and being like, "Give me a sword!" I'm not sure, but like you could always go back to town, have a long rest, return with your spells, maybe grab a weapon or two from someplace. You might be able to find someone that's able to provide you with one. But I'm wanting to know what the plan is. Is it return to town, end the session, come back when you've had time to recuperate, or is it go back to session, maybe spend a day or two, grab some shit, go beat these guys up and get your stuff back?
I think we should return to town, have a rest, and plan out our how we're going to exact our revenge, and scrounge up some weapons from wherever we can.
We will burn it to the ground.
Cool. So, could you do you want to take a short rest before you head back to town? How many hexes are you away from town?
I think we're only like 8 or 10. Yeah, I think it's not that far.
Actually, I can find out by looking at a map.
Yeah, from an auto game standpoint, like, I mean, this was certainly interesting and everything, but I'd do better to re-roll a new character at this point. Like,
It's true.
So-
It's true, unfortunately.
I mean, the starting gear is kind of like super important and it's worth a lot of gold. And she doesn't, I mean, she could spend the next 6 weeks working hard, quote unquote, with like no tools to work with. And it certainly would be a slog and a character building experience, but
Well,
I mean, it would just suck.
Or you could remember this. You could join up with a different band of characters, and one of them may have a spare blade. Go out on a quest, get some money. I'm not thinking that you wanting to go back to town and just work until you can afford all the stuff you started the game with. Because remember, you may not necessarily be with the same group that you are with currently.
Yeah, I
I
understand.
mean, we could take a long rest, try to stealth our way in, and then just magic the shit out of them in surprise round, maybe.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean,
I've got an idea.
The only way this will work is if we know where they are, they're off guard, preferably mostly asleep, and we take them down 1 or 2 people at a time, stealthily. If we get, like, honestly, we get more than 2, we'll start dying again because I've only got frickin' fists.
Well,
And then perhaps would the plan be to back up a hex, take a long rest, and scout them? See what they do?
That would be a good plan.
I
Yeah.
mean, I could get in there without any problem. Probably. So could our cleric.
Okay, I'd like more information about them because that also means that if we come back, then we'll have an idea of what the obstacles are. Like, do we need a rope to get over the wall? Do we, what are their shift patterns? Do they always go out in groups of 10?
Realistically, if we could find out where they're keeping all of our stuff, we could probably, the two of us could go in there, steal it, and get out.
I mean, I kind of want to go too, just because I have a spell that will be helpful
What's
in
the
making
spell?
friends. Called friends.
Oh, he has
Okay.
friends.
Nobody likes you.
Alas, alas.
Everybody loves me.
I'm pretty sure our cleric knows a handy little spell that I know called Disguise Self.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm not particularly stealthy, and I'm almost certain they'll be taking our gear back to Harlow's pad.
That's
Well,
that's what I'm thinking. But if we were to back up a hex, take a long rest, actually we could probably get the whole party in, because I also, thanks to my god being Loki, have this fun little ability where I can touch an ally as an action to grant them advantage on stealth checks for 1 hour.
Okay.
So we could
I
do
s-
disguise self, and I could give you extra stealth if you wanted. Or whoever.
so GM, if everybody was to try and stealth in, would it be like a group stealth check where if there's enough successes, everybody gets in, or is it a individual stealth check where anybody screws up, we're screwed? Or does it depend on specifically what we're trying to do?
I think it would be like a stealth check from everyone, and the lowest stealth would be the one that's getting spotted. And then
Okay.
that stealth would, hold until an enemy spots you. The enemies won't be making like individual perception tests against you, so you'll probably only be trying to get everyone to be either the passive perception of the entire people or the perception of any specific individual or group that's trying to spot you.
Okay. Well, in that case, I would still prefer to like sort of stay towards the back where maybe we have a signal that says "Oh shit, come running and punch something," but I'm not very useful right now, and I think that that advantage would do better on somebody who already has skill stealthing.
I can stick back with you then.
Hey,
All right, so can we take a short rest to roll some health hit die, do some scouting, and then see where that leaves us?
Okay.
well, if
So
we go back a hex and take a long rest, the three of us spellcasters will have our spells again.
Well, it'll also get us all the way through the night to the next day, though, so it'll be harder to sneak, though, right?
Well, we could wait till
you're only
night.
halfway through the day now, so if you took a long rest now, you would be like finishing the long rest at night.
Okay,
That
Yeah.
might be.
let's
I
do
have
that.
dark vision, so I'm
At
fine
the
with that.
moment, all you've got to worry about is like getting eaten by some wild monster. Really, I hate to be the person to say that, but that still is a possibility.
Do we
Four
want
of
to
us
take
could fight
this?
something off.
TPK. TPK.
Do we
Okay.
see a stand of trees somewhere where, like, maybe we could climb it to get
Um,
away from angry monsters?
There are the trees to the south of where you are. Like if I
We
put you
really
back
wanna try
over
to climb
to
the tree.
the map, and we can like take a look at the map, and you can see that like currently you're pretty much here. You're between the hexes. You're walking north west towards the group. So pretty much you could like hop into the trees, and from there you could watch where the group is, but you wouldn't have the best sight line to the fort itself. It'd be on the edge of your vision, but you could probably still kind of scope out, are the group heading back there, are they not? And with the athletics, it'll only take you an hour to get into the forest.
Yeah, let's rest in the trees, because if nothing else, we could at least attempt to climb into the trees. Nobody fail an attempt more than twice, though.
Oh yeah, were you a group in that player in that group?
No.
This just seems to be a meme that's going around at Beyond the Bridge crew about this failed tree.
Yeah, Sean was in that one.
Ah,
I was the one who succeeded getting up the tree the first time.
And he was drunk off his ass, so he had to roll with disadvantage.
of course.
The other bard failed 3 times.
Okay, so let's go to the trees.
Cool. So, could you please roll a d100? Ooh. Cool. And could we please roll another d100? Cool. And you're camping out for the night?
I think for the day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for the rest of the
wait
day.
until you have had a long rest. So you'll be camping out, and then in the night it'll be time to act again. So if you wanted to sneak under cover of darkness, you could do that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So roll one more d100. Cool. Excellent.
And I'm assuming we're still doing shifts. Like,
I'm assuming watches are going on. So
okay,
Yeah.
all of you receive the benefits of a long rest, and while you watch, can
Health.
Jack, can you give me a perception test, please?
Perception. I'm very perceptive. Not really.
Okay, so at the long range of your vision, Jack, about less than an hour really before you hit the tree line, you see the group of fine gentlemen. 3 of them go back towards the keep with the body of Olaf, the big guy, leaving 6 left there. You can't see if they've taken your gear or not with them. All you see is like 3 burly, well, not 3 burly men, 3 skinny, scrawny men carrying the big burly guy between them, all heading up, and that's at the edge of your vision. You can see vaguely from this site that the towers have like torches lit atop them, or lanterns, or some sort of fire, and there's like a rough kind of square fort with 4 towers, 1 gate entrance. It's not really on a hill. I mean, you could describe it as on a hill if you wanted to, but it's like gentle slope of the Udin Plains. And your rest passes slowly and uneventfully. But would any of you like to make a scene of inspiration? Frame a scene describing your character's backstory, or something that they currently feel about what's going on, and then you can gain inspiration from that, which you can use to reroll, gain advantage on something. And then someone can ask you a question about that, either in character or out of character, and they also gain inspiration.
So Theron just feels like a failure. Like, so all of his friends managed to like do all these great feats, and here he was, and his first like adventure out, and he was just crippled and just robbed blind by bandits, and just he feels like he just like utter just disappointment in himself.
So is there like a flashback perhaps to a scene where your former comrades just did something really heroic and like amazing, and you're trying to live up to that? Or is it just like, are you just abject shame looking at the ground? What's the...
So why Theron was left by his old troop was that he his leg was he took a wound by an orc, and like all of his friends were just like massacring the orcs and just being this thing, and then there's just one orc came up and just like punched him and beat him into the ground, like, and he was unable to stop it, as all of his friends just won victory, and he just keeps flashing back to that, and he feels like, you know, without his friends or anything, he's worthless.
Okay. So does someone have a question? And this can be either in character or out of character. So it can be you asking David about what his character feels, or some other scene related to this, and the question asker receives inspiration.
Rosemary's going to make a comment to him about how, even though they had just gotten robbed, at least they're still sticking together.
At least we're still
because friendship is actually her ideal. Material things come and go, bonds and friendship last forever. And she feels like through this failure, they're beginning to form a friendship because they learn to rely on each other.
I appreciate the sentiment, Rosemary, but I'm not convinced that when you saw your idiot barbarian get cut down that the right move wasn't to run away. I mean, thank you for sticking with me. I don't know if I would have made it through without you, but
The reason
My-
why
my-
I healed you was just so that there was one more of us. I thought our chances were better if we actually had a melee person who could do some damage, as opposed to us spellcasters.
Doing all
right.
that
But when I
spells.
was cut down, I was by myself, and when I woke up, there were two of you around me. So you could have gotten farther away instead of closer away. I'm trying to remember that she doesn't know exactly what happened, but yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but now we're all going to go back together and get our stuff, right?
I mean, fuck those guys.
Okay. So I think that's the inspiration for Theron and Rosemary. This is use it to gain advantage on a roll. You have to say using inspiration before you roll, unlike bardic inspiration where you can roll it after but before you. You know what I mean. Anyway,
Yes.
so night descends and the stars begin to twinkle overhead. The sky is kind of greyish with little bits of cloud, but you can see a half moon cropping out every now and then from behind the things, and you can see across the way the six gentlemen who are camping out in hex 10018. You can see one of them's like standing and moving around, and they've got a small like little fire. They don't really have any tents, so it's just like bedrolls and stuff, but that's the most you can see from this distance. So what's the plan? Are you going to try and take out the guys outside? Are you going to try and sneak into the fort itself?
We still have no
So,
idea. Where
I feel slightly obligated to mention what happened to the last people that attacked a fortified position. Session 2, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just saying there can be more guys inside than the people you've seen go in there. But you probably know that. So anyway, moving on. So what's the next step? Oh, and by the way, Shriek, you can quite easily pick up a tree branch or a stout length of wood to use as a club, so that you're not just using your fists.
Oh, great
in fact,
idea.
you probably could pick up something that is a quarterstaff if you give it a bit of looking.
I'd love to do that.
Given that you've got 8 hours in this forest, you can have a quarterstaff very easily.
Great.
Or a
I
club.
have to write
Or
a new
a-
macro.
Or a great club. And if you wish to MacGyver them all by like tying a rock to a big stick, I'll accept that with a crafting check for how many attacks it'll survive.
Well, so she can't actually wield heavy weapons, so I'll have to pull out
because
my
you're
books.
because you're
Because
a
I'm a
halfling.
small creature, unfortunately.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, I think I'll just stick with this quarterstaff for now.
Okay, so you pick up a stout length of oak. Well, not oak, but whatever tree there is in a hot kind of Mediterranean environment. Anyway,
As long as it's straight-ish.
it has a little green sprig at the top.
Okay.
Twinkles in the half moon.
How do we want to get in there?
Okay, so what's the plan?
I think we
Well.
should concentrate our efforts on where our gear is, but we have to figure out where our gear is first.
Can the four of us take out 6 people?
By the way,
Well, so
could all of you
I can do two things.
could all of you do me a very quick favor and just in Skype chat just post what you had? Just gold and weapons to save you some effort.
Gold and weapons.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's always a chance when players are involved because you were a wily lot. I never trust you for a second. But there is also, where there is the chance for great success, there is the chance for great failure because dice.
Yeah.
Okay. Control C.
Does our armor go away?
Your armor's been taken, but I don't need to know what that is.
Okay. Well, it's just so
Like,
AC goes.
as a point, like leather armor, they would have taken shields, chainmail. Helen, not Shriek. If you're wearing hide, they probably wouldn't have taken that because that's just like furs and stuff.
Yes, so I still got my armor.
She's She doesn't wear armor, but thanks.
Cool.
I was wearing hide.
Nice.
Yes.
So, I can cast Fairy Fire and give everyone advantage on attacks.
If
Also,
they
as a
fail
point,
the
if you want to
dex.
pick up rocks to throw, that's also an option.
Yes, don't
Yes.
mind if we do. Is that an improvised weapon?
No, it's just a D4 ranged.
Okay.
So it's a sling, basically.
It's a rock. Not the same range. It'll be 20-60. So same
Okay.
range bracket as a dagger. And the reason it's not improvised is because I can't be bothered looking up the rules. So,
Works for me.
what's the plan?
Sean, you didn't list your
Equipped
goals.
with the clubs and rocks of the forest environ, you prepare yourself for a
Pick up a
nighttime
club.
approach. But what are you approaching?
Oh yeah,
And who?
if anybody else was wanting to get up the equivalent of clubs or quarterstaffs, if Shrike's got some sort of advantage on that, she'll help other people with that too.
Cool. I would assume you have, because you're like a barbarian. Are you an outlander by any chance? Or...
I'm Outlander and I do have survival, yeah.
Yeah. You'd
Okay.
find it pretty easy to find the right sort of wood.
Fabulous.
Okay, so what's the plan?
I get quarterstaff as well then.
So,
Sure. Why not? A quarterstaff for us. It's more than nothing. Well, I do have an idea, but I don't know how well it would work out.
I'm all ears.
Well, I have disguise self, so maybe I can make myself look like one of the guys who went to the fort.
But then you'd have to approach from the north, or they would think that or they would know something was up.
So I do a little bit of walking. It's not gonna kill me.
Okay, great. So you look like somebody from the fort. Then what happens?
I go up and attempt to find our stuff, and then say something about, oh, I need to get back to the fort, or make up some BS along the road. I don't know. I'm kind of playing this by ear right now because I just want my stuff back. I feel
Right.
naked.
I just think it's important to know what the step is after look like somebody else. Okay.
First step, look like them. Second step, get into camp.
So if you're coming from the north, maybe you can distract them long enough and the three of us can come from the south?
I don't want to
Yeah.
fight these guys if our stuff isn't there. I think it'll waste too much time and we're too likely to get hurt.
Okay,
She raises a fair point.
she does. The barbarian is remarkably intelligent.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that she's not.
Well,
Great. Let's see you in action, Jack. How far away do you want us to be? I don't want to get so close that we'll make rustling sounds that'll wake them, but
well, let's see. There's, what, 3 of them awake?
I thought it was 6.
there's
Oh.
6 of them and one of them is on guard. Do you know why you came to check on them?
I was told by the leader of the fort, whose name I can't remember,
Carlos.
Carlos, whatever, that I needed to return as backup, and the other 2 were staying with Olaf to tend to his wounds.
And so then how do you get away again?
Yeah, going with that story, you'd have to stick with them.
I was told to come retrieve the equipment that we had there that had been stolen from the people we just...
What if the equipment is already is not there and was taken elsewhere?
They'll know automatically.
I'll wait until they ask me why I came, and after I find out if it's there or not.
Okay, as long as you're thinking about it.
Or if I'm there, I'll ask, did we find anyone else's to... Has anyone else come along for us to steal stuff from? I'm supposed to pick it up and take it to the castle.
Great, that sounds good. Yeah, just checking in. Has it been a quiet night, guys? Okay.
It's like, yeah, I mean, I can stick around if you guys need some reinforcements. I mean, I'll help you keep watch.
Oh, actually, hey, that'd be a good one. If they do have the equipment and they won't let you get away.
Yeah. Just be careful. But okay, that sounds great. So I'm thinking we go to within like 60 feet of the camp and then you sidle in there. And I don't know if you want us to try and smack them around, you yip like a dog or something. I have no idea. But in case this all goes south and they realize you're not who you are, what's the sign?
You're gonna see me sprinting out of that damn camp like hell's behind me.
Okay, fabulous.
Unless they take you out at the kneecaps. And then I'm sure we'll hear you scream.
That will most definitely hear me screaming.
All right, so we start sneaking. We don't want to get too close.
So you try and is the plan here to get as close as you think that you can automatically get close? Like, or are
I'm
you
most
gonna, like,
concerned
as
about
close
not
as
being
you can
heard.
get? So the question is, are you more concerned about not getting heard than getting close enough to react quickly?
I'd say err on the side of caution.
Okay, so you easily manage to get up to about maybe 200 feet or so before, you know, the ground is like too open and the moon too bright for you to get any closer. The long grass is quite concealing, and you're pretty sure that Randy, the halfling, not Randy, Rosemary, because you're a Lightfoot halfling, you're pretty sure that the grass alone would conceal you if you crept closer. But the rest of you,
Yeah.
Shriek and Theron, you stand out just a bit too much above the long grass to make it there without being spotted.
Okay, we'll hang back.
Okay, so Jack,
So I'm gonna have
the plan is to cast a spell upon yourself to make you seem like someone else.
I'm going to cast disguise self on myself to make myself look like one of the three wiry dudes who was carrying Olaf off to the fort.
Okay. Pick B, C, or D.
I'm gonna be B because
So you picked
He
the
likes
guy that
me.
punched you in the face. Got it.
You got a really good look at him.
So you're completely bald, your eyebrows are gone, there's no facial hair on your head at all. And this illusion transpires over you. What does your magics look like?
it shimmers like water over me as my features change from my head to my toe, just like the moonlight's just changing me. And suddenly I look like the man who I got a very good look at after getting so close to me and feeling me up.
And then you just begin. I'll put you back here, so you're like in the hex where you've moved to out of the forest. So you begin moving to the camp. Just as the point, the camp is in 10:018, and the fort is in 10:017. They're not in the same hex, so there's a bit
So,
of distance between them.
Go ahead.
So you walk on up.
I'd walk up to the camp as if I was coming from the fort.
The guy on watch goes, "Hey, oi, oi!" And he peers and goes, "Oh, hey, what you doing?
Oh, I was sent back from the fort.
What? Olaf get bored of your ugly mug?" And he
Oi.
he begins walking up to you to, like, I don't know, hug you or something. As a point, you know that disguise self is non-physical if he touches you.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just like, no, they sent me here in case we picked up anything else from any more travelers coming through.
And he pauses and he's like, nah, the only buggers that were here through were a bunch of the other lads. They looked right tired. I think they might have ran into a spot more trouble than we had." And he smirks. He's like, "Oh, we ran into a right easy bunch. I don't know why we let him live. Falcon and his stupid fiefdom business."
Oh, you mean them four from earlier?
Say that again?
You mean them four from earlier?
Yeah.
Oh,
Falcon
that
should have
smart
just
ass.
let him shoot us through with arrows.
Aye.
But he says, "Oh, the dead, they tell no tales." I thought that was the whole point.
Aye. It's true.
Um,
But aye, since I'm here,
Make a deception test at this point, by the way. Just kind of how well you're impersonating EO. Okay, so it's like And did you see the way Carrie ran like a whipped dog? I swear that one, touched by the gods. We should have killed that one at least. Or taken her prisoner. Oh, she would have been right good in the infirmary. Infirmary. It's not a fracking infirmary. I don't know why he insists on healing that fetid, stinking Hutzer infirmary.
I tell me, boy, since I'm already here and I'm awake, you want me to help you keep an eye out? I'll tell you what, you can go to bed. I'll keep watch for you.
Make another deception with advantage.
Yes. 20.
So he's like, fuck it, I've been awake too long. Anyway, wake up the prick Fakund when it's his turn. And he like goes to his bedroll as he's like almost met you halfway as you've been walking towards him, and he walks back to the little campsite with you, throws a log on the fire and huddles down.
All right, I'll go sit where he was sitting and kind of start looking around to see if any of our stuff is just sitting there.
Okay, so as you look around, you make a perception test.
Please don't
fail
fail me
us.
now.
He can
Please.
see in the dark, though.
There's a small like campfire, so it's illuminating. So you see two crossbows in the hands of two of the gentlemen who is currently slumbering, and they're just like cuddling them like babies. And you see a rather large axe that you remember being carried by Shriek in the hands of the one that's been identified as Falcon, who's the F. He's the guy that was in charge after Olaf got beasted. But that's all that you can see. You can't see any like daggers or hand axes. Well, other than, their knives. Obviously, they all have swords and bows, except the two who now have crossbows.
Oh. So they have our stuff, but none of it's just sitting out. What do I do here? What do I do here? Do I just grab the stuff that's loose and go? That'd probably be our best idea. I'm gonna.
Sleight of hand it.
So, do you mind
Yes.
if we take like a very quick, like maybe 1 or 2 minute break, and then hop back in, just so I can break up the videos?
Oh, go ahead.
Cool. So I'm gonna stop streaming. See you in a bit, chat.